Hello, viewers. Welcome to Miss Time Podcast. Today, we are thrilled to feature a great guy. His name is Sanjay Jeeva, and he's a talented squash player from Malaysia, and currently ranked number 67th in the world. And he is perfectly known for his significant strides in the squash world. So, Sanjay, welcome to our podcast. How are you feeling today?
Feeling great. Maybe a bit tired because I just came from training and I have another session in 2 hours time. But excited to be on the podcast. Thank you for having me.
This is fabulous to have you. And last time we tried, somehow we were not able to do it, but we are lucky to have you today, right? So hope you are enjoying the weather, which is going pretty warm everywhere.
Yep, it's pretty warm over here now, but this week it might be raining a bit more because apparently there's some rain that's coming up from the south.
Yes. Same here, man. Same here. So, a lot of people, like especially our viewers, like who actually watch our channel regularly, they are waiting a person like you to know more about you and about this sport because squash is making a name in the world right now, and it is something which was hidden, it is a game which was like a hidden gem, but now people love to know more about it, and people are, new young talent is coming forward and making their career in this sport, right? So, Sanjay, as you are ranking number 67th in the world right now, so can you tell us about your journey into squash? How did you get started in this kind of a sport? How difficult it was for you as a newcomer?
Yeah. So I'm from Malaysia, but I grew up in Belgium, and unfortunately, squash isn't popular in Belgium. I was actually into badminton, as you know, all Malaysians are love badminton, and but since in Belgium there aren't many good coaches, my parents decided to put me into playing all kinds of sports at a club near our home, and I was playing football, playing tennis, swimming, and squash.
Okay.
And that was at age of 10. And then 2 years later, I competed in my very first international squash tournament. I didn't think much of it. I didn't think I was going to do well. I just went for it because I had some friends that I knew and I stayed with. It was in Luxembourg, and I so happened to have won that tournament, and that has struck
Mhm.
interest in myself for the sport and has like opened up this feeling of competitiveness that I loved. And ever since that tournament, I just started focusing more on squash rather than the other sports. And I started excelling in the sport. But like I said, in Belgium, squash isn't popular, and there isn't much, there aren't much support for it. So it was hard to really find players and to get good quick compared to other countries in the nearby. But somehow managed to make it work.
Right. So, like as you started, like it was difficult, for you to start this sport, right? And I'm sure like it was very hard to find a right coach as well, since it was not very famous at all, right? So I think like that is a challenging part, right? And apparently you were playing different kind of games, right? But for fun, you were not, uh, you know, the mind was not struck to a particular or specific game, uh, and you were not aware actually that your parents, I think, put you in a way that you should be athletic and you should stay fit, something like that, right? And
Yeah, they.
maybe down the line they have some thing in their mind that this guy probably uh, be a sportsman, right? Something like that, right? So
I mean, they were both athletes growing up. My dad played football for Malaysia. My mom was actually did actually play squash for the state in Malaysia, um, but obviously didn't continue in their sport careers. And my parents always want for both my sister and my brother as well. We were all put into some kind of activities, sports, and they always told us there's three ways to come up in life: one through education, two through um, music or being a musician and artist, and three through sports. And we started at playing sports at a young age, and I was fortunate enough to have a good coach at where I was, and that helped me obviously excel in the sport.
yeah, that is very intelligent to know that this kind of decision, like that kind of vision, your parents had. Uh, that was, I think, like a kind of a curious thing for all of us, because no parent like put their child in a sport in that way, that you play multiple sport. Most of the parents like they say like focus on your studies, just be a bookish guy, like let's do this and do that, right? Mainly a mindful thing, you know. But there is a reason behind it, because your parents were athlete, right? So that was something. Um,
But they did not know the advantages or the opportunities that came for excelling in a certain area. I mean, like I'm now in the US because I got recruited. I got a scholarship to come here to study and play for the university. And my parents did not think about it 15 years ago when I first started that, oh, if he played squash, he could get into a university in the US. They weren't thinking that way. But if you are able to excel in something, um, there are a lot of opportunities that can come with that. And I'm just glad that I stuck with it and was able to get to a certain level where I was recognized and noticed that I was able to, come to the US and come to the US. And now I'm going to do my post grad in the UK
yes,
and play squash for that university as well.
so how long you have been living over there?
In
In
the US,
6 years.
I've been in the US for 7 years now. Graduated 3 years ago and will be moving in September, so next month, to the UK, to England.
Yeah, okay. So I got that because that was a kind of thing which was destined. Maybe like your parents thought about it, right? So what does a typical training day look like for you? How do you balance your physical training with mental preparation?
Uh, that's a big question. It depends. So right now, it's off season, so it's summer training. Summer training um, varies in different areas, different programs. With my coach right now, Rodney Martin, who was former world number two, um, we have 3 sessions a day. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we have morning track at 7:30 a.m. and then two hitting sessions, which consists they're both around 2 hours. It consists of drills, match play, one-on-one with the coach.
Right.
Um, and then the other day it's the same thing except the morning is gym instead for Tuesdays and Thursdays.
So
And then
your coach is like he's number second in the world. He's ranking number two.
he used to be world number two. He's a bit older now, but um, he's very well known in the squash world.
Okay, great, great. His name is Ronnie, right?
Rodney Martin.
Rodney Martin. Okay, okay, great. And I think that's what like. How did you feel being ranked world number 67th, which is a significant achievement? How do you feel
Yeah,
about ranking? Because it's not that easy, right? And
no, it's definitely not that easy, and it's definitely an achievement. And this is my third year on tour, and or technically second, but in my third season, and I did not think I would be this high in the rank in in um in my third season. I This was the season I was seeing whether I should continue squash or focus on studies or go a different route. And this was the year I did the best, and now I've gotten even more opportunities. Like Malaysia has now recognized me, and I am now part of the national team, and now I get support from them. So and now it makes it easier, um, to travel a bit. But it's still going to be hard because now to break into the next level is even harder.
So, as you know, you are so far, by now. So, people start recognizing you in Belgium or not? Like, because you born over there. So I'm sure, people start knowing about you because
Oh
you
yeah, yeah. When in Belgium, I played the European circuit, the junior circuit. So your junior is when you're under 19. So if you're 18 and below, you're playing the junior circuit. And I was ranked number one in Europe under 19.
okay,
So I played a lot of European events. I won a couple, and I was definitely recognized. And I played for Belgium at the World Junior Championship for 3 years. I started when I was 15. So from 15, 16, 17, I played World Juniors, or was it 16, 17, 18? Sorry,
right, right.
and played for Belgium. And it's at those big events where you will get scouters. Meaning those scouters are um, people who represent the universities that will come down to watch and look for good potentials and give them, recruit them to the university. So I was recruited that way. Um, there were people that came to the World Junior Championships. They saw me play. They were interested. They would have loved to have me. Gave me a card, got in touch, and then we created some kind of agreement. And then, fill out all these forms, and I then came over to the US.
Right, right, right. For some reason, people has to climb to a certain, I would say, a route to see what's going on the road, right? So, you have to come to other country and get the recognition so that the people in Belgium know about you, right? So, it's the people from Belgium seeing you, watching you playing, in different country and in their own country. like uh, this game is not that famous, but now when you did your come back and went to your same country like where you born, and then you got the recognition, okay, this is our guy, so we should have recognized him, acknowledge him, what he was doing before, something like that we
I
should.
mean, my parents still live in Belgium, and I would obviously go back and visit them every now and then, and I would still go back to the club that I grew up playing, and everyone still remembers me even after years of me being away. And and then every time I train, they would come and watch, and they will still post about me on Facebook sometimes, which is very nice, very sweet, and I love seeing that that they all actually follow my journey in the squash world and me and watch my progress.
Hmm. Right, right. That's cool. And what have been some of the biggest challenges you have ever faced in your squash career?
Squash career. A couple things. I mean, the biggest is probably if you're in it full time and you don't have much support. Um, Financial support is a huge thing that a lot of squash players face because it's still it's still a growing sport, and it's not as much money compared to tennis. And even if you win events, you make pennies. You don't make a lot of money, and the cost to travel to these places and having to uh, book a flight, book transportation, book a hotel, and then you pay for food. Some events cover some of that, but some other events don't. And then you have to cover your training. All that are big expenses, and if you don't have any support, it's very tough. And you, so that is probably the biggest challenge. And the second one for me is, as the more you get into it and the higher you get in the ranks, it's not much about whether your skills or your fitness and your technique. Obviously, it all plays a part, but for me, it's now mental. The mental aspect is huge. and I'm feeling that now it's you have to think differently. You have to push a bit more, and it the mental game is a huge part of squash. Um, and
How
then third is
how did
yeah.
you like overcome the financial issues? Like how did you get the stability, financial stability? Your parents supported you, your family,
Uh,
right?
my parents have always supported me, but I've not overcome the financial
Okay.
situations yet. I'm still going through it. I'm still in the moving up in the ranks and trying to get trying to find sponsors, put myself out there as much as I can so I can get the support to make it easier for myself and get the best training I can get. But my parents have always been there to support me, and they try to help me as much. I've been coaching a I've been coaching a lot in the past so I can support myself on tour. Um, but I've been trying to reduce that so that I can focus more on training.
Right, right, right. You know, Sanjay, like this is something like every athlete, every sportsman, faces. Uh, I never heard from anyone that who is very well settled financially, and they are just doing what they want, right? So it's been a journey, and all the people, like especially in the sports, like they have been having hard time meeting the expenses, because it all starts from family, because they are financing them, right, all the time. So by the time uh, they start earning less. It depends on the sports as well, and you know the family always happy that they start supporting themselves, you know beforehand, like they send something back to home. So it's pretty straightforward, right? So it is very hard to have that kind of a stamina, to continue in that way, right? But
Mhm.
it's we wish you luck that in everybody's life, like this is something comes, right? So not a big deal, right? To
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure a lot of players across the sports they face these challenges,
Yes,
and they all have their own journeys to
that,
come up, and
yes,
that's what makes it even more interesting when a person shares their stories and their experience, because it's especially in squash, every player has a different journey. Like the way they've been brought up, the way they train for the sport is so different, and we all have yeah we're all come from different backgrounds, and we're all aiming for the same thing, so that's very interesting.
but the bottom line is that take my word, like whatever we talk to, or somebody else talk to other players, right? So they have their very difficult journeys. you know uh, Nobody was like not getting a full financial support. Some people are traveling, some people are going places to places. Sometimes they had to walk 20 miles, 30 miles. So like it's a very difficult thing to achieve. So not that easy, because you have to be mentally and physically strong in this kind of career, right? So
Yep.
yeah, yeah. And just to know that who inspires you the most in your career, what motivates you to keep pushing forward in this game? Is there any idol?
um, Growing up, there was definitely one or two. One in particular is Rami Ashur. Rami Ashur used to be the best player in the world, won world championships, world ranked number one. He had a very unique way of playing the game and could hit these incredible shots from anywhere. And I was just so inspired that I even got the same racket as him, and I would try and play the way he played. And a lot of people looked up to him. He was definitely an idol growing up. Um,
Okay.
and yeah. And the more I get into the sport, the better I do. It just becomes like my own motivation to, that this is my job. This is it's a job that I enjoy, but it's my career, and I want to get as best as I can. I want to make it as best as it can be.
Right, right, right. Very true. So, can you share any memorable moment, the match moment or tournament experience that stands out in your career?
Yeah, one most recently, because yeah, it's everyone has their own timeline.
Mhm.
It took me about 2.5 years on tour to finally win a PSA title, which I've been hoping for ever since I started on tour. It was a 12K in Bermuda. One, it was my first PSA title that I won, and two, it was in Bermuda, a country that I've never been. So that was a very unique moment and tournament for me to win. Um, and it's they say your first tournament that you win is the one that you'll never forget. So that is a unique moment for me, in terms of tournament wise. Yeah,
Okay, great. So it's an island, right? It's Bermuda Triangle. It's very famous, I think.
correct.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, it's quite popular. People's heard about it. Yeah,
Great.
I went there through plane, so I didn't get stuck in the Bermuda Triangle. So I'll
So
say
you didn't go into time traveling or something like that.
no, no, exactly. I was good. I made it there and won the tournament and made it back.
Yeah, very back. Yes, that's great. And just to know from you, because listening from you makes a difference here. What advice would you like to give to young squash players? Uh, to achieve their professional level, or what would you like to tell them, like in simple words?
I'll tell them that as long as you have a passion for the game, you could um, you could get to wherever you want to get. And it doesn't have you don't need to have the best coaches, you don't need to have the best facilities, you don't need to have all the resources. But if you're willing to push and give it your best,
Hmm.
um, you can find a way to excel and come up in the sport. Uh,
Right.
that would be my advice. Yeah.
That is very important.
And don't hesitate to always be reaching out to people to play. For example, back in Belgium, again, there was no one to play with, and all I did was just ask members, ask especially when I was younger, ask the older club players who may not have been better squash players, but because they were stronger, maybe, and because they were older, they're able to hit the ball harder, that you still got something out of it. So don't be afraid to reach out to people, no matter who they are, to have a hit or to have, a workout.
Very true, very true. And like, how do you manage the balance of your personal life with the demands of a professional squash career? Is it difficult for you?
Everyone has a different lifestyle. I was balancing it with coaching, which took a lot out of my game, and that's why I said I'm cutting down. But you just find a routine, and like I said, if you give it your all, you find your routine. You can make things work.
Right.
Um, yeah, and if you have someone there to do it together with, like I have my girlfriend,
Mm.
it helps.
Okay, okay. So somebody is there to motivate you, like.
Yes.
And Sanjay, like, how do you think the squash in Malaysia is evolving, and what impact uh, do you hope to have on it?
Um, I think it's been a growing sport, and um, I'm sure you have heard, or at least she's known in the squash world, Nicole David, who was one of the best all-time athletes between men and women, who is a Malaysian, and she's won 8 world championship titles. That has um, made Malaysia squash a lot more popular, and more players are now involved. And
Mhm.
it's like I said, it's a growing sport. And since it's now finally in the Olympics, we have we do have some one or two players, one in the men and one in the women, that are top in the world, that are potential Olympic medalists. And so now there's more money pumped into the sport, that it's now incentivizing a lot more players to come up, do better, and excel in the sport. But squash has been a popular sport for Malaysia. So I think it's only going to grow come to the Olympics and after. And I'm hoping, I mean, I am a contender for the Olympics, and I'm hoping to, be able to, uh, you know, participate in more national events and help the sport grow for Malaysia.
Yes, yes. Like your own PR, right?
Say again?
Yeah, it's very important to have you do your own PR, right? You know,
Yes.
yes, it's very important, right? And there is
Yes.
harm in that because going somewhere actually tells people like, okay, this is something different and new, even though it's not new, right? People know it later about this.
Hmm.
So only a guy who is into the sport can do the PR about of himself as well as the game. He can promote the game all the time, right? So
Correct.
that's great. That's great. And any message for your fans?
My fans, I hope you keep following me on my journey to the top, and look up for my trick shots, because I do post a lot of trick shots.
Right.
Um,
On
so
Insta,
yeah,
right?
on my Instagram, yes.
Can tell your ID, Instagram ID?
Uh, it's my name underscore my last name, so Sanjay underscore Jeeva.
Perfect, perfect. Sanjay, I couldn't tell you like how happy I am to talk to you. It's a very open talk, no formal talks, right? So great to know a guy like you who has your own dreams, right? And it doesn't in the first part like it was not really uh, you know uh, very visible like that you had your own struggles, but later on when you told us that that this is something you have been through, and the journey was not that easy. Coming from Belgium to other country is not that easy, traveling down there
Hmm.
for the studies, and but there are a lot of challenges, right? Because when we even within a country, if we change, if we go from one province to another province, it's very hard to survive, right? So
Correct.
uh, you are a proud son of your parents, and we wish you luck and keep doing hard work. And after talking to you, I think you are very sincere in your sport, so people love to watch you though, and love to watch you in the Olympics as well.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Right? Yes,
Yeah. Good luck with getting more people to come on your podcast. I hope you get more,
yes,
players, athletes, or whoever that you enjoy getting in and getting their experiences. It's great to be able to share, you know, your knowledge, your experience with other people, and get that shared. I think it's important to hear from like different perspectives of the game and different sports. Um,
yes,
but yeah, I'm glad I was able to share my experience. Thank you for that.
yes, yes, yes. We'd love to have you again on this time when you are done, when after your this game, which is about to come, and after that, let's see how we can schedule with you, right? And
Perfect. Yeah, I have this will probably this every chapter or every season is a new challenge. Last season was breaking through. Now it's about maintaining and still breaking through. But it comes with new challenges every season. So we'll see what happens. First tournament in Egypt end of this month. So
right, 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 right. Uh, Great, man. Just also relax, watch some Netflix if you have time. If not,
I will try.
yeah, 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 definitely. And let's connect again sometime. We will reach you out.
Great. Yes. Perfect. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much. Punk,
Thanks,
thank you
Abhi.
for the upcoming matches.
Yeah, no problem.